Uptober? How about we call it Sucktober? But now they're calling November Moonvember. Yeah, kind of cringy, but we hope it still happens. We're going to talk about a big expert out there with a massive prediction for the crypto market. 50% gains by the end of the year. We're also going to talk about Sam Bankman Fried. He says, no, just wait until you see. XRP Treasury, we got some more people buying. I've got the amounts that they plan to spend on XRP. We'll talk price action along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Along with a mix of red and green up on the screen. That's right, we're not starting Moonvember off too hot, are we? But players are saying we're going to get about a 50% pump by the end of the year. Holy shit. If so, I might put some money down on that action. Now, before we get into the action, you know the deal. You are the viewer, and you matter most. Here we go. 1117 Zargon says, hey, dude, love the updates without the lies like most content creators. That's right. I bring you the news, good, bad, happy, or sad, and thank you for the support, by the way. 1117 Zargon, love it. Digging the gameplay and the videos as well. Anyway, happy Halloween. P.S. Do the merch. Oh, if I do the merch, y'all know I'm going to do it right. Wild Bat Bro says even CNN is blaming Chuck Schumer. Yo, that's how you know things have gone far. When even CNN is turning on you. Reed says, Chuck you, choo-choo Schumer. Yeah, vote all them losers out. Why? Because there's no progress. Levin Morse says, hey, I got some support for you as well. Thank you, sir. He says, hey, Klaus, been watching your videos for a while. Love that you cut through the BS and give it straight to so many other creators. Give it gay. Oh, naughty and nice in the same sentence. So I got the language warning. You can't take it? Get the fuck out. If you end up deciding on merch, I have an apparel printing business and would love to chat. I try to keep my prices under market regardless. Thanks for the great content. I'm either going to pick a viewer or I'm going to pick a local business if I do the merch thing. It's the only way to do it. I'm not going big box store. I'm here to support people. Bitcoin 109,703, ETH is 3860, XRP at 248, while BNB's at 1,083. Sol, that ETF didn't help at all. Sol's at 184. And hbar, that ETF sure as hell didn't help out much. We're only at 19.8. Let's get into that altcoin season news. 32 out of 100. Not bad. We're kind of inching our way up slightly. That's this orange line right here. Volume, it's starting to suck already, huh? I said XRP is going to hit between 2 to 3 billion in volume sometime this weekend. Right now, overall volume is down 27% to $123 billion. Michael Saylor says 150,000 BTC in 2025, despite the Trump tariff shocks. That would mean BTC would pump nearly 50% in 2 months. Could you think of any other investments right now that could give you a 50% gain in 2 months? I just don't know. There's just so much going on right now with the shutdowns. You got some tariff problems. You got some inflation concerns. And I know Saylor's a maxi, but is he blowing smoke up our beeholes, or does he really, really, really think it's going to get to 150? Michael Saylor still foresees 150,000 per BTC by the end of the year, despite temporary concerns, and they are temporary. We know once the government shutdown gets fixed, we've got a better shot at getting regs and more ETFs. By the way, the XRP Canary ETF is due November 13th. That's right, if the government doesn't reopen, it's got an automatic option for the 13th. I'll have that video linked at the end. Why? Because the algos crushed it, because it was Halloween and y'all were trick-or-treating with your kiddos. This week started with a promising cryptocurrency market recovery after a $19 billion market crash earlier this month. Oh, that's not good. Crypto investor attention was largely focused on Trump's meeting with President Xi Jinping aimed at securing a trade deal. However, the positive momentum took a sharp turn on Wednesday when BTC ETFs were bleeding. That's right, they were bleeding. Check out the outflows. Hold on. I'm going to show you outflows. I got them right here. Bam. Outflows 3 days in a row, bleeding BTC. So the bigs were selling, but are they going to buy on that dip? Either way, this is fueling investor concerns as Thursday's tariff meeting between the two presidents ended with no significant announcements, but the market didn't react to that. The market's like, well, hey, we're at least glad you're talking, unlike the Democrats and the Republicans where they're not making any fucking progress whatsoever. But 150,000 per BTC by the end of the year, yo, where else could you get near 50% gains in like 2 months? I don't know. I think that's a bit ambitious. Sam Bankman Fried claims FTX was never insolvent and the FTT token would be worth $22 billion. Wow, hindsight is 2020, you fucking genius. If it was not insolvent, why did you cave in? Oh, yeah, that's right. And we also learned that you use like QuickBooks to run like a mega big company. You also didn't have any notes. You also were commingling investor funds. You're also doing shady loan practices. You also didn't know where the fuck the money was. You're like, yo, we would have made it. Shut up. This dude is fucking nuts, man. In the lengthy 14-page document written by the former FTX chief and his team, the now defunct exchange did not become bankrupt due to a comprehensive scheme to commit fraud. They said they encountered a liquidity crisis, baby. Means you had no fucking money. Then was on track to be resolved by the end of the month. You didn't know if prices were going to go up or down. Come on. Before being interrupted by FTX's external counsel who took control. They said FTX was never bankrupt, even when its lawyers planked it into bankruptcy. We could have repaid the customers in full. Shut the fuck up. The document argues that if bankruptcy lawyers had not liquidated assets, then the firm that invested in FTX's sister company, Alameda Research, would have had holdings around $136 billion. But you know what, though? You know what the really big problem here? I'll read a sentence and we're going to get some help from Cassandra. According to SBF, if FTX and Alameda still existed, the exchange's FTT token would be worth approximately $22 billion. Cassandra, help us out.
Really make it.
Yeah, and if a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump his ass when he hopped.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of what ifs. Hindsight's 2020. Oh, and if I would have not slept in 3 months ago, maybe I would have seen my point here. It's all what ifs when you look back in the future, and that's what this scumbag, he's still trying to make it seem as if he did nothing wrong. This guy is fucking whacked out, man. No one should ever let this guy be around big amounts of money again. Just throwing it out there. Now, companies are expanding their XRP treasuries. Ooh, we talked about Evernorth. Well, we got Ripple Swell coming up on the 4th to 6th of November. And we got Trident Digital planning to raise $500 million for XRP Treasury. The Singapore firm eyes major investment to capitalize on XRP's utility and cross-border payments. And again, you can't just buy XRP. You got to do something with it. Public companies have made several notable moves this year. Trident Digital in Singapore plans to raise $500 million for an XRP Treasury. Weavis wants to get $300 million. Vivo Power International from Saudi Arabia targets $121 million. Ripple Swell event, which is set for November 4th and 5th, sorry I said 6th, will feature discussions on the future of digital assets and XRP's role. Attendees got David Schwartz, Aisha Burlow, Michael Arrington, and will share the insights on Evernorth strategies and broader market shifts. That's something I'm going to definitely listen to. When that news happens, I will make sure I bring it to you. Now, you're seeing some global adoption, right, for digital asset treasuries with XRP. You're definitely seeing some growth here. Does that mean it's time for us to buy more and hodl more to beat these bigs to the punch? Or are these players getting their stuff over the counter from their friends from circulating XRP? Yeah, stuff that's already in the market. We already talked about the big market stuff. Let's talk about XRP. We're at 248 right now. Volume, 3.34 billion. I'm telling you, we're going to get between the 2 to 3 mark. We're still a little higher than that. XRP's price was rebounding pretty good, and then all of a sudden we got pushed back down erroneous. This is the 1 week chart. Yeah, look at that. Now, what is it going to take for XRP to start moving? Like I said, November 13th, Canary Capital ETF gets an automatic approval if the government shuts down. If the government reopens in the next 12 days and the SEC can respond to everything, well, guess what? Then they can delay it. But if they don't, there's an automatic approval November 13th. And then you got the regs discussion. I think the market is going to start moving once we get the Dems and the Republicans working together. I might have just gotten struck by lightning if I say that shit out loud. So we do have some big market catalysts, but we need those two people to work from across the aisle. When does that happen? Honestly, some of the odds that I've been seeing are pushing us close to Thanksgiving. They're saying between the week of the 14th and the 21st is the best odds for us to get that done. And that's where XRP's price hangs right now. So you can say melting faces all you want. What about all the players that bro, $10,000 XRP by Friday? Well, it's fucking Saturday. We gave you an extra day and we're still not there. But they're still going to post that crap, right? I don't post you the crap, post you the news, good, bad, happy, sad. And the news is you got companies putting more money into XRP. You got more people believing in XRP. You got the ETF. Some of them are going to get automatic approval, and some of them will get normal approval once the SEC reopens. Is it going to be by the end of the year like Saylor says? Well, I mean, A 50% pumperoni in 2 months would be a hell of a yield, right? I can't think of many other investments out there that would give you near 50% in 2 months. Sounds like a little bit of hopium. But then again, players are saying $10,000 XRP by Friday. Saylor says 150K BTC by January 1st. Are either of them going to be right? Well, you're going to have to wait and find out. And I still do believe we got a lot of good things ahead of us. Now, in terms of like super juicy good, well, I mean, it depends on when the government shutdown ends. It also depends on the UFSA China thing can stay resolved. And if inflation doesn't keep rearing its ugly head, because here's the problem. See, the reason why the market recently took a pooperoni was because Jerome Powell's like, yo, we don't have data. Inflation's kind of getting shitty. The housing market sucks. The job market's starting to suck. And people are like, yo, Jerome, you kind of fucked things up, my guy. And now we got to eat that poop sandwich. So by the end of the year, I don't know. I still think we're going to get some juicy to those extents, near 50% gains by the end of the year. I don't know about that. But these companies believe it, and that's why you're starting to see them build up these treasuries. And they're doing it before the regs happen. Can you imagine how many more companies are going to put money in once we actually get the protection from the regs? That's where I get excited. Now, Sam Bankman Fried is using hindsight to say, oh, if I would have known this, it would have been this. Yeah, we all could have fucking said that. And like Cassandra said, if a fraud had wings, it wouldn't bump its ass every time he hopped. So yes, hindsight is 2020. Maybe if I wouldn't have dated a complete whack job a while ago, I'd be in a better place. Maybe if I didn't buy that house in the Keys, I wouldn't. That's my point. Hindsight is 2020, and that's what Sam Bankman. He's still trying to prove that he did nothing wrong. You commingled funds. You ran orgies in your freaking company. Y'all were running a train on Caroline. And yet you want us to think that, like, this is okay with people's money? No. No, no, and no. Sam Bankman-Fried, you are a liar and a scumbag. Should have been in jail for a shit ton longer. Choo-choo what? Well, the sign says it behind me. You're like, bro, I can't see it. Well, it's lit up now. Choo-choo bitches.